Hello everybody, this is Ishita Agarwal and welcome you all in managing software licenses within an organization throughout its life cycle using BMC Remedy Asset Management. Before moving with our further discussions, let's take a small look on the agenda which we would be covering today in our discussion. We would be seeing about the software asset management. We would be talking about the stages of the software life cycle. We'll be having a discussion on the software license management. We would take a look on the implementation of software license management. We will see how to add a license certificate to a software contract. We would also take a look on the automatic linking of software assets to license certificates using license jobs. And then we'll take a look on how to review the software usage and compliance using software management console. So from this, we can start our discussion on the software asset management. We can always use the software license management feature in BMC Remedy Asset Management to facilitate, focus, and follow through on compliance. So this section describes how to use BMC Remedy Asset Management to manage software licenses and their compliance within your organization. As per the ITIL, it is defined as all of the infrastructure and process necessary for the effective management, control, and protection of software assets throughout all stages of their life cycle. So we will be focusing on the goal to reduce IT cost by reducing software licenses, overspending and non-compliance through greater accuracy in discovering, tracking and reallocating software licenses. From this discussion, we can always conclude that the goal of software asset management is to reduce information technology cost and limit business and legal risk related to the ownership and use of a software while maximizing IT responsiveness and end-user productivity. Now let's talk about the software lifecycle. As we are knowing the concept of the software asset management, we can move our focus now on discussing the various stages which are there in the software lifecycle. As you can all see in the figure itself, that the software asset which would be deployed into our infrastructure would initially be gone to the negotiation stage. From there, it would be procured. After that, it would be deployed. During deployment of the software asset, we would actually be dealing with the software license management. Then, after deployment, the software asset goes on with maintenance stage where it could end his life or could go on the renewal stage. Let's see each stage in detail. Talking about the very first stage of the software asset, that is negotiation, that means we'll be procuring the software from another company. One of the very first step is to negotiate a software license contract with the vendor. So whenever we would be planning to procure software from another company, we would be contacting with the vendor, and if we have BMC IT Business Management Suite, we can use the vendor relationship management module during the negotiation stage. In BMC Remedy Asset Management, we can use the contract management console to track the different type of contracts for each vendor, including software contracts. So at this stage, the contract manager would be creating the software contract with the status of draft. Later on, the software asset would move in the procurement stage. We'll be using Remedy Asset Management to generate a purchase order for the software, or we can use other procurement softwares. We can always relate the purchase order for the software to the software license certificates so that you can track the financial information regarding software procurements. In this stage, the contract manager changes the status of the software contract to executed. That means now your contract is in active state. The configuration administrator requisitions and purchase softwares. The software asset manager add license certificates for the purchased software assets. So that is how our software asset moves from the negotiation stage to the procurement stage. Then it would enter into the deployment stage. During the deployment phase, the software license management first time comes into picture in order to ensure the correct and verified license association with the deployed software. So in this stage, the Software Asset Manager creates and schedules a license job to connect CEIs to the license certificate which has been created in the procurement stage, as we have seen earlier. And then he'll be checking the compliance of the license. In this stage also, the configuration administrator would be receiving the software assets. Then talking about the maintenance stage. As you know, maintenance is an ongoing activity. So the BMC Remedy Asset Management provides a way for you to track the ongoing license compliance for the software. Tracking compliance is rule-based and can vary based on the license agreement for the specific software and also for the specific vendor. You can use BMC configuration automation for clients to track and understanding the usage of the software. So when we'll be understanding the usage of the software, you can proactively maintain the deployment of the software to allow for the most effective use of the purchased software licenses. The discovery products such as BMC configuration automation for clients or BMC Atrium Discovery discovers the software. Then these discovery products populate BMC Atrium CMDB with the CIs for the software and with the relationship between software and computer system on which it is installed. In the end, BMC Atrium Reconciliation Engine runs, populating the production dataset with the discovered data. So now we would be having the software assets into our CMDB. Then the license engine runs the license job to connect CIs to the license certificate and to check compliance of the licenses. In this stage, Software Asset Manager can check the history from the Manage License Job console, which we would be seeing in the practical in the later slides. Here also the Software Asset Manager monitors the status of the software license certificates. Also, to prepare for an audit, the Software Asset Manager runs a license job immediately to check for the compliance, and then he would be printing a report for that. Coming to the next stage, that after maintenance we would be assuming that the software asset enters the renewal stage. So whenever software contracts are nearing expiration, BMC Remedy Asset Management can send notifications. BMC Remedy Asset Management provides processes for renewing contracts and for tracking the additional purchases of licenses. The renewal process feeds back into the negotiation process, providing a closed loop vision of the software lifecycle. So we can say that at this point of the lifecycle, it again enters into the negotiation state, and from there it would enter into the procurement and then to deployment. There's also a stage if after maintenance it decides to go for the end of life. You can use the BMC Remedy Asset Management to help determine where the software is deployed, which can help you decide whether to upgrade the software to newer or other versions. So whenever the software license expires, the next time the license engine runs a connection and compliance job. It removes the software CIs from the expired licenses. And if there's another non-expired license, the license engine attaches the software CIs to the license. Otherwise, the software CIs would remain unlicensed. And if the license is renewed, the Software Asset Manager opens the license certificate and renews the license. So whenever the next time the license job would be running, it would run a connection and compliance job. It attaches the software CIs to the renewed license certificate, and again a cycle of the software asset goes on. So this is a brief discussion about the software lifecycle stages. Now we'll be seeing how these stages would be implemented in our software license management, in which we would be taking a brief look on the overview of the software license processes. As we've already discussed, initially the software CIs would be discovered automatically or would be created manually. Then they would be normalized and would be stored into the CMDB. After their storage into the CMDB, a license engine would run the compliance and the usage job and would check whether your software asins are running on compliance and the usage are under your observations. Now let's see how all it does happens. Whenever you would be adding a license certificate, you can specify the license type, as in you can say the license type could be per instance or per site license, and depending upon the license type, you would be defining some of the specifications. Each license type provides a set of connection rules which the license engine uses to query BMC Atrium Configuration Management database. And through that rules, the Configuration Management database selects the appropriate CIs to connect to the license. Each license type also provides a set of compliance rules which the license engine uses to calculate whether the license is in compliance. The Software Asset Management Manager again schedules your license jobs so that the license engine can regularly connect your software CIs to the license certificates and check for the compliance. Here we are again and again using the terminology as the license certificate. So let's discuss what this term means. Actually, a license certificate indicates the right to deploy software into your environment. So whenever we would be linking the software CIs to the software contract, it would not be directly linked up. You would actually be linking your software CIs through your license certificate. So as we have discussed initially, we would be creating the software contract, then we would be adding the license certificates into it, and then we would be relating it with the software CIs. So the very first step of the implementation of the software license management is to create a software license contract. Now let us see how we will be creating a software license contract. For that, we would actually be logging into a contract management console, and from that console, we would be clicking on the create. We would be selecting the license type as the software license, and then we would be filling all the required fields, as you can see in the figure itself, to create a successful software contract. So here you can see the field as the summary field. In the summary field, you would be providing a brief description of the software contract. You would be associating the software contract with a company. You would be specifying a supplier name. That supplier name should be configured during your foundation data. Then you have a field like term in the software contract information form. This term could be as if like never ending, it could be rolling contract, or it could be fixed contract. So if we are specifying the term as the fixed contract, that means they'll be having a valid expiration date for this software license contract. You can always go on and give the software license contract as the term of never ending. That means there would be no expiration for this software license contract. You can also go on and give the option as the term with never ending. That means this license would never be expired, and there would be something like rolling contract, which means the contract would get auto renew on the date of expiration. Then again you have a field as the status field, which says whether your software contract is in draft status or executed status or is in historical status. So whenever we would be in the negotiation stage of the software lifecycle, we would be keeping the status as draft. And when this software contract would become active with respect to our service provider environment, I would be keeping this status as executed. Moving next to the very important field of the software contract, that is the addition of a license certificate into it. As you can see in the table field, there is no currently license certificate attached. To add up a license certificate to this software license contract, we would be clicking on the add button. So as we are knowing that the license certificate would be giving us the right to deploy software into our environment. And as one contract might have multiple certificates, So software compliance is tracked at the software level. Whenever your license engine runs, it attaches the CIs to the certificate, and it would be based on the following information, like it would be linked up with the help of your company, it could be linked up with the help of your product manufacturer and name, it can be linked according to your categorizations, and also it can be linked according to the answers to the connection questions. So this is the slide which is showing us how to add a license certificate to a software contract. Whenever you would be clicking on the add button on the software contract, this window comes up asking you about the company, about the certificate ID, summary, software contract ID, and so on. So here you can see that we would be giving a specific company, we would be generating a certificate ID, and we would be giving a summary according to the description of this license certificate. You can go on and give the effective dates, expiration dates, notification dates. Again, you can always link this license certificate with the purchased line of item using this search line item. Whenever you want to relate a line of item with the license certificate, you can always link it through the search line item button. After filling all the mandatory fields here, you'll click on the next button. When you click on next window would ask you something about the manufacturer, product name, market version, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. That means you would be selecting the software from the product dictionary. Here you must select the manufacturer. Optionally, you can select the product name, the version, or the categorizations. So coming back to the previous slides, where we would be specifying the certificate ID, we would be giving the status of the license certificate, we would be specifying the license type, and this license type specification is very important in terms of your license certificate because this is the field which would be determining the connection questions and compliance questions. Again, you could have the following license type which is given out of box to you people, like enterprise, it would be per copy per device, per instance, site, per server, per CPU sum based, per CPU multiplier based, per CPU constant based, per core sum based, per core multiplier based, or per core constant based. You can choose any of the license type as per your requirements. The effective date specifies the date that the license becomes effective, and the expiration obviously when your license would get expire. If you have chosen the term of the software contract as a never ending, this field should not get any value. When we would click on OK, you would be selecting the software from the product dictionary. The relevance of specifying the market version of the software product is used in the software licensing. This helps in the maintenance of the certificate so that you do not need to relate each of the minor versions to the certificate. Instead, you can just relate the market version for the product. You can take one example as if Adobe Acrobat Professional gets discovered with the various minor versions in BMC Atrium Configuration Management Database such as 6.1, 6.1.2 and 6.1.3. So depending upon the patch level, market version attribute allows you to refer to these three versions by a single version in BMC Atrium CMDB. So that way this field is important in software assets. After successful addition of a manufacturer and the product into your table field, you would again click on the next button. This would be the third step for the creation of your license certificate. So here you would be entering the required information like number of licenses purchased, breach warning levels, number of copies allowed per machine. And that way you would be providing the connection details and compliance details. Putting up the connection details would provide information about how to connect the license certificate to the appropriate CI. And the license engine uses the information that you provide here about the compliance details as well. After clicking on the next, there would be a summary generated as the certificate has now been completed, and you can save this license certificate from this window. This is how we would be adding up a license certificate to our software contract. Now let's see how this license certificate would be attached automatically to a software CI that has been discovered by the discovery tools or are manually created. So now this part will take us to the management of the jobs that would automatically connecting CIs to the license certificate. As we have already seen, the license engine would automatically be connecting the CIs, which is based on the company, product information, and answers to the connection questions. It would also be calculating the compliance based on the answers to the compliance questions. It's your choice whether you want to run that job immediately or you want to run that job after some scheduled intervals. For managing these jobs, you can manage it from the Manage License Job console. You can also see the results of license job executions from this SAM console, that is your Software Asset Management console. As you can see this in this figure itself, in the SAM console, there is a link as Manage License Jobs in the functions. So whenever you would be clicking on this Manage License Job, you would be coming up with a license job creation window where you can create the license job and also you can run the license job. So when we'll try to create a license job, it would ask us for the company, for the job name, job status, job type, job criteria. As we know, company applies to the licenses for the company that you select. You'll be giving a specific name or a descriptive name to identify your job. There would be a job status which would be selected whether the job is active or inactive. Then for the job type, it would be checking for the CIs to connect to the license and then check compliance. So we would be selecting either connection and compliance like all, or we would go on and check compliance only without connecting CIs. We would be clicking on the compliance option then. Also, to restrict the certificates being checked, specify the job criteria. As you can give the license type, you can give the manufacturer name. So whenever this license job will run and will try to connect the software CIs to the license certificates, it would try to match up these criteria with the software assets, and then they would link the software assets with the license certificates. After the successful creation of this license job, you can always run this job anytime. You can see in this console itself, there is a Manage License Job table field in which we have given a job as the check license compliance for Adobe products. If I want to run this job immediately, I would click on the run button and I could get the history of the status of this job through this history radio button. After running of this job and successfully attaching the software CIs to the software contract, we can anytime view the software usage. We'll be requiring to view the software usage to identify whether the software is either overspending or underutilization in your organization. So viewing software usage also helps you plan future purchases and discontinue unneeded licenses. Again, you can view the software usage from the SAM console, that is your Software Asset Management console. Here, whenever you want to view the usage of licenses in a license certificate, you need to view the certificate. You need to open the certificate, and in the certificate itself, you'll be having a link as the view usage. When you click on this link, you'll get to know how many licenses have been used, how many are overspending, how many are underutilization. We can view the software usage, as well as we can also determine which all CIs uses a license certificate. So to determine which CI uses a license certificate, open up your license certificate, and under that license certificate you can click on the Software Assets tab. In the software assets tab, you can see what all software CIs are actually linked to this license certificate. You'll get to know each and every information of these CIs through this SAM console. Upon this, we are actually coming to the end of the discussion, where actually we have discussed about the software asset management, its process, how to create the software contracts, how to add up a license certificate to the software contracts, how to link your software CIs to the license certificates and in turn into your software contracts, and how the license engine runs to automatically link your software CIs to the license certificates. If you have any query, you can always mail me to our site as info@vyomlabs.com, and I would love to answer those queries.